Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is DeeDee, and in today's video, I'm gonna be sharing with you a what I eat in a day on the carnivore diet, of course. The first meal, super simple, typical meal that I would make and eat anytime. The second meal is something that I have never made before, so looking forward to that and looking forward to the outcome. I'm also pulling out the cast iron skillet. I don't know, I'm just scared of that thing. I've had it for months. I've only used it once with my pepper steak video. I think I posted maybe about 3 weeks to a month ago. And I put it away, and now I'm gonna pull it out again. So I'm pretty sure as I continue to practice, I'll learn the craft. However, I'm still practicing. I'm in my beginner stages, so any tips are absolutely welcome in the comments. Okay, let's get started on our meals. Meal number one. All right, as you can see, we are having some pork chops. I'm just showing you here the prep process before I actually start cooking. I'm just rinsing off these pork chops. Initially, I had them thawing out in some vinegar, some water, and some salt. After rinsing them off, I'm just gonna go ahead and pat them dry. So you did see that I had more than 2 pork chops. I just plan on eating 2 with a side, and then I'll use the remaining pork chops to make a quick meal for the rest of my family. So after patting them dry, you'll see that I am placing some butter on these pork chops. So I did melt some butter off camera, and I'm placing it on here because I actually plan to air fry these pork chops, and I want it to have some crispy skin. After placing the butter, I'm gonna start off with the seasoning process. I have my staple seasoning. Right now, it's been added to some of my staple seasonings, the Redmond's seasoned salt. And at first, I was thinking that's all I'm gonna use on these pork chops, but I changed my mind. I wanted some spice, so I placed some cayenne pepper on one side, then I flipped it over and I placed some cayenne pepper on the other side. I had a little bit of butter still left in that bowl. I said we're not wasting no butter, so I put that on those pork chops. Now we're gonna move over to the air fryer. I had the air fryer already preheating at 390 degrees, so it's really hot, it's ready, it's going. We're placing in our pork chops. I didn't want to crowd them, so I'm just using both compartments, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it on for 12 minutes to start. At the halfway mark, you want to make sure you're flipping your pork chops. I lost track of time and I came at the 4-minute mark, but it's okay. And while it's continuing to cook in there, we're gonna go ahead and work on our side. So here you'll see I cracked 2 eggs. I placed in some Redmond salt, some pepper. I had the pan preheating with some butter in it, and I went ahead and dropped my eggs in there, and they cooked super fast. I love my eggs fluffy. You've seen me cook eggs before, and they are done. Now we'll go back to the air fryer. It's ready. Let's plate them. So the pork chops were completed. I did put them back into the air fryer for another 3 minutes. So total cook time was about 15 minutes. I let them cool down, and this is our meal, our first meal for the day. Some crispy air fried pork chops with some buttery, fluffy eggs. Super delicious. Our next meal, we have some lamb shoulder chops. Definitely something new for me. And I'm actually following a new process this time. The last time I used the cast iron skillet, I saw that the butter burned really quickly. So right now I am actually rubbing a little bit of olive oil on these chops. And yes, I understand olive oil is not part of carnivore, but it is not a seed oil. If you are a strict carnivore, then feel free to use butter or anything else, right? I guess I don't consider myself super strict because you see my seasoning of choice, okay? I'm putting some total seasoning, some garlic powder, some Redmond salt, and also some black pepper all over these chops, okay? I wanna make sure they are fully seasoned. I flip them over and I'm following the same process on the other side. But of course, like I said, if you're strict carnivore, feel free to use just salt or any seasoning of your choice. So the skillet has been preheating on the stove while I was prepping and seasoning the lamb shoulder chops. So I've just placed them into the hot sizzling pan to sear the sides, right? So I've seared the first side for about 2 to 3 minutes, and you want to see a nice brown crust. And then I just flipped it over, and now I'm searing the other side. So while the other side is searing, you'll see that I am adding some butter. I just want to add a little bit more flavor to these chops, even though I know the seasoning is going to give it some good flavor. And then I also sear the sides, right? I sear them for about 45 seconds to a minute on each side for both chops, just to get that brown crust all over the lamb. So after searing, I am allowing them to cook for 5 minutes on each side. I added a little bit more butter, and now all I'm doing is basting those chops as they cook, right? I'll continue to baste, allow them to cook for the 5 minutes, and then I'll go ahead and flip them over. This is probably gonna sound crazy to you, but I have never tasted lamb before, so I am excited to see how this turns out. They've cooked for the 5 minutes. I am basting it one more time on this side and will allow it to cook for another 5 minutes. Then I want to check the temperature, right? Okay, it's a little bit higher at 167, 176. Okay, but at least I know that they are done. Okay, time to move them off of the stove. Now I am just plating our lamb shoulder chops, and that's what they look like. I plan to cut into these chops, but here is a close-up before I cut into them. Some lamb shoulder chops. Okay, so I cut into these chops just to make sure, even though the thermometer said they were good, take a look. Nice, juicy, and fully cooked. Definitely happy that I chose this second meal. All right, and that's it for today's meals. The pork chops were nice and crispy, eggs fluffy. I cook that all the time, so no surprises there. The lamb shoulder chop was something definitely new to me, and although it was full of flavor, it was delicious. I'm thinking next time maybe I'll put it in the oven. You guys know I love putting something in the oven. I know it takes a little bit of time, but I have mastered cooking in the oven, and I think the amount of time that I allow items to cook in the oven creates more of that tenderness, so I'm thinking of trying that next. If you all cook lamb chops or have cooked lamb shoulder chops before and you have a different way of cooking them, please drop it below. Share any tips you have. I think that's it. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.